I've had the Xbox Series X for about a week now, and I've been playing quite a few movies on it. And as I mentioned in a previous video, it doesn't support DolbyVision, which is kind of annoying. And also, it doesn't put out true black. Presumably they're going to fix that, but the Xbox Series 1 put out true black, so of course it couldn't do DolbyVision either. So I thought about it some more and read some more reviews, and I'll put some links in the description, and decided that if I'm really interested in quality movies, which is what I spend a lot of my time watching besides gaming, I really should buy a dedicated player. And based on all the information I could find, this Panasonic DP-UB820 is the perfect system for me. It'll do DolbyVision, it'll do Dolby Atmos, and it's not HDMI 2.1, but if you aren't trying to do 120 frames per second, 4K, 24 frames per second, there's plenty of bandwidth to send that over, and also Dolby Atmos True HD without having to have a HDMI compatible port. So this is probably 2.0B HDMI, and that should be plenty of bandwidth for what I need. So besides the Dolby Atmos movies like Rise of Skywalker, I've also got the 4K Martian. I want to watch that. And I showed Ready Player One earlier, but of course I couldn't do Dolby Vision on the Xbox. So that was really disappointing. So I'm going to be watching that again using Dolby Vision. And also, believe it or not, I'm one of the people that gets these Netflix DVDs, and these aren't 4K because you have to pay a lot. I don't think Netflix even provides 4K discs. There are some services you can get that'll give you a 4K disc, but I'm not really gonna get those probably. But in any case, this particular Blu-ray player is optimized for upscaling and so forth, so the quality of the regular Blu-ray movies and even old DVDs should be much better than with the Xbox. Let's go ahead and open this up, and we'll see what's inside. Oh, time's up. This has a dedicated chip in it just for upscaling and tone mapping and so forth. Of course, the Xbox has a dedicated graphics chip too, but it depends on software more to do what you want. So, all right, so it's got the secure safety information. Keep away from small children. Okay, let's get this out. Got the remote. We're not going to be using it for streaming. One of the knocks against this Blu-ray player isn't good for streaming, but we don't care about that because we're doing all of our streaming directly from the TV. So we don't need streaming. All we need to do is play movies as best as possible. So that's what this should do for us. Oh, I mentioned I am shooting this video in Blu-ray and 4K, so hopefully it'll come out. And here's the front panel. It's got a LCD display and a tray that comes out. It's got a couple controls on the top. It's got power and eject and load. So that's good. And on the back, it's got HDMI output. Now you can't send the sound directly to the receiver. So we may do that. We'll have to see. Assuming eARC works, we won't do that. But theoretically, we can send the audio signal directly to the receiver, and that should help out. So this does Dolby Vision, like I said before. It also do HDR10+. So I don't think I have any discs that are HDR10+, but it just cover all the bases as far as HDR. And it's got, some other audio, analog sound out. We don't need that. All right, so that's that. And next we'll see where we're going to install that. All right, so here's our cabinet where we installed the Xbox. Now theoretically, this will fit in here. Theoretically, we could put it underneath the Xbox, but the Xbox is kind of heavy, so I don't really want to put it on top of this. I could build a low shelf. I couldn't find a shelf that would work exactly for this thing. I could build one, but I've got this switch over here on the right. That would cause some problems and so forth. So the plan is to put it up on this shelf. So to get that to work, we're going to have to drill a hole. We still need to get to the switch so we can do firmware upgrades and so forth of this. So we'll have it hooked up to the internet just for firmware upgrades. We're not going to do any streaming over the internet. And we also need to be able to get power, so the power strip is in the back on this level. And we also need to get the HDMI cable back into the TV. So the way I've got my system set up, there's 4 HDMI 2.1 ports on the back of my LG C9 TV. One of them is for the receiver, that's doing eARC. One of them is for the Chromecast, if you remember from an earlier video. That handles streaming of things that don't have apps on the TV, like PBS and Canopy and stuff like that. And the third one is for the Xbox. And the fourth one now is going to be for the Blu-ray player. So I'm all set. I have 4 ports. That's all I need. I don't need to run them through the receiver. Like I said, I might run the sound through the receiver if I can't get eARC to work with True HD. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. So hopefully that'll work and we won't have to bother with that. But that's certainly a possibility. That's nice to have that option if we need it. All right, so I don't want to lose all this storage here. So I bought this shelf. I can go in here, and then it'll fit in here if I tip it properly. There's enough room for it. It won't fit past the door, but I can tip it and get it in there. So this leaves enough room below it for the Blu-ray player, and then I can put some stuff on top of it. Now the Xbox puts out a lot of heat, as we know. It's not excessive, but we need to have the heat's going to be ventilated. So if we drill a hole in the back of this shelf, then some of the heat from the Xbox is going to come up the hole. So we're going to put some holes in the back of this thing just to dissipate any heat coming from the Xbox. Now this shelf is fixed. Actually, maybe it isn't fixed. Yeah, it is fixed. This shelf is fixed, so we can't pull it out to drill holes in it. So we're going to be drilling a hole, using the hole saw again, drill a hole in it. We'll take the Xbox out of this case and we'll just cover everything up with a towel like before. Well, it turns out this is the fixed shelf that can't come out. So this is screwed into the sides. This one comes out, slides, but I have to remove the door. So the way these door hinges work, if you unscrew one of the screws from the hinge, then you can slide the door out. So we'll do that, and then we can get this. We'll get this out. I'll go ahead and just drill the hole in the garage. So I won't bother to show that because I showed the hole saw before. I'll drill the hole in the garage, but I'll drill these holes up here. I'll just put 1 hole here and then 3 up here, and that'll be enough to cover enough ventilation. So go ahead and do that, and then come back and we'll install the shelf and the Blu-ray player. So the door's off, and this shelf comes out. There's also now, since the door's out, there's enough room for this shelf to go in. This is actually a PC monitor riser. I'll put a link for this in the description. This was the best thing I could find that was this width apart, and then I had enough room underneath it for the Blu-ray player to go. Just barely, but enough. And then I can still access the buttons on top here. And also we can use the top to store our extra Blu-rays. So just like that. All right, so we're all set with this. We just need to take the shelf out. Blu-ray player out. So I'll take the shelf, take it in the garage, and drill a hole with the hole saw for the cables to go down. Also, could just cut a corner off. I might do that. That'd be even easier. I think I'll just cut a corner off. Still have plenty of strength for holding everything up. So that'll be simple. I'll just make a straight cut across here to make a diagonal opening. Well, we'll use the hole saw to drill holes in the back of the cabinet here, but I'm not going to show that because I showed that before. So that's done. We drilled the holes, 3 holes. That should be enough for ventilation. Most of the heat from the Xbox is going to go out to the holes in there. And we cut off the back corner of this so we can put cables in it. And the shelf fits in there really nicely. So like this. Put it up against the back, then it's stable. And the Blu-ray player is going to go right below it. There's plenty of room for ventilation. One thing about this Blu-ray player, there's another version, the 9000 version, that's made out of metal, but I didn't think I really needed that. As far as I know, the video quality, the quality for videos is equivalent. The 9000 is better for playing high-end CDs for music, but I'm not really doing that. So this should be perfect for this. Now the Blu-ray player came with a power cord, but it did not come with the HDMI cable, which is interesting. I guess they don't do that anymore. But we'll be using this Amazon Basics HDMI high-speed cable that I tested in one of the other videos. And this did pass the 18 gigabits per second standard for HDMI 2.0B. And this is a 3-meter cable, so there's plenty of room for it to get over to the TV. So that's good, because it's got to go down into this cabinet and then over and then into the back. This will be plenty long enough, and it did pass the test that we gave it, and also it is good for 4K, so it should work. And if it doesn't, we'll have to get another cable, but to start off, we'll try this. If we get DolbyVision and Dolby Atmos True HD, then we're looking good and we're off to the races. So. All right, so I'll just install all this, and then we'll come back and try a movie. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.